Rev up your engines!
Brainball says, Scotty, big fan. Should I buy a 2012 Dodge Charger with a little over 100,000 miles? If you can get it really cheap and you want a weekend toy, yes. If you want an everyday driver, don't even think about it. Those things turn into money pits. But if you get one that runs good now and you can get it cheap enough and you want a toy for the weekend, go right ahead. I had a customer to do that 6 months ago, and she's still happy riding around in the thing. But don't pay a lot of money for them. They have really low resale values. People generally beat the heck out of it, fall apart when they get to that age and that mileage. Hey, Scotty, what's your opinion on a 2007 Nissan Altima manual 2.5 with 90,000 miles for $4,000? It is manual transmission, and those are fine. They were notorious for blowing head gaskets. $4,000 for that car, it's 13 years old, is too much. I try to get it for at least half that. Watch my How Can Tell If a Head Gasket's Blown video. You go to Amazon, and for $25-30 you can buy one of their cheap kits and do it yourself. I don't want to buy one with a blowing head gasket, but if the head gasket was okay, and it's a manual transmission, if you can get it for half price, go right ahead, but $4,000 is too much for that. They're notorious problem cars, and it's not worth spending that kind of money. Scotty, I'm planning to buy my dream car soon. It's a BMW X6 2016 to 17. Your dream car will turn into a nightmare car in a very short period of time. That's one of the worst cars ever made for longevity and repairs. I've had customers with those that were doctors that got rid of them because they got tired of paying for repairs. Surgeons too. They were very wealthy people. They're money pits. You don't want to buy one of those things. I mean, if you got money and you want to waste it, it's your money. Feel free. But I wouldn't waste a dime on a vehicle like that because they are money pits as they age, and they cost a fortune to maintain, even if you're just going to maintain them. Very few guys know how to work on those things. And even the ones that do, a lot of times they let things slide. I had a customer with one of those, and they took it to the dealer for the first 4 years of ownership, and then they brought it to me, and the transmission went out, and I took the fluid, and the fluid was like molasses. It had never been changed. And they had paid at the dealers, and paid big money, and they didn't even change it. So I'd stay away from that whole money pit assembly. Not just the car, but the people who fix them too. Michael Martin, and Martin says, hey, Scotty, I had a delay in acceleration. It happened a couple of times on my 2016 Nissan Altima. It drives fine otherwise. What could it be? When you get a delay in acceleration, you always start with the basic stuff. Check your spark plugs and the air filter. If the spark plugs are worn out, or if the air filter's full of dirt, it'll do the same thing. Or if your fuel filter's bad, so change your fuel filter. Past that, it gets really complicated. You could have a weak fuel pump that you could pressure test to see if it's bad, or you could have dirty fuel injectors that need to be pressure cleaned. It gets complicated, but you know, most of the time, in my experience of working on cars for 51 years, it's simple things like bad spark plugs, dirty air filter, or dirty fuel filter. So start with those first. I got an 05 Camry LE. It's ticking. What should I do? There's one of two things on those. Either the fuel injectors are ticking, or the valves are clicking. What you can do is get yourself a long screwdriver. I use all kinds of complex electronic carrying devices, but a long metal screwdriver, any piece of metal, works pretty good. Put it on the engine, different parts. If you put it on the fuel injectors and you hear the clicking loud, you know it's the fuel injectors. And then to even test that further, you can unplug them one at a time. If you unplug one and the ticking goes away, you know it's a fuel injector. And if it runs okay and it ticks, it isn't going to hurt anything. I've had people drive that for years. Say it's a valve ticking in the engine. It's a little bit bigger of a deal because that means something is physically wearing. And nowadays, most cars aren't mechanically adjustable. If they are, see if the valves can be adjusted. But if not, it either means the lifter's going bad or you got a worn valve, and that can get super expensive. Joshua Tink says, Scotty, what do you think of an 89 to 92 Nissan Stanza? Were they reliable cars? Yes, they were very reliable cars back then. That was before Renault took over. I mean, let's face it, you're talking about an 89, you're talking about a 30-year-old car, that's old. And there could be a lot of stuff wrong, but I mean, if you're going to buy one and fix it up, if one is still running, it runs okay. Yeah, they were solid built cars back in those days. I had a lot of customers that owned those things back in the late 80s and 90s, and they're still running okay. I still got a customer that's got a 90, they still driving. They were well made. Now, I wouldn't touch any of the late model ones, but those were well made. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.